should wait for people to join if anyone's going to join. I'm coming on here tonight because there are some new events that happened in my life. I also want to talk about some of the stuff in the Epstein files as it relates to me. This is an unscripted live, so it has the potential to go just about anywhere. Um, I want to, let's work backwards. Okay. So before I got home today, I parked my car. And when I parked my car, it was almost as if the spot had opened up just for me. And while previously I used to very much believe that the universe did things like that for me, like I had this thing where I would drive around and I would say parking, parking, parking 3 times. And sure enough, by the third time I said it, within a few minutes, I would find a parking spot. So I've never thought too much about looking for a spot. I'm always willing to walk. But today, the spot wasn't too far. The only thing I noticed was there was a woman sitting next to the spot. So, two things. That let me know that spot was indeed for me because that woman that was sitting there is indeed one of the people who has been assigned to monitor me. And what I mean by monitor me is I also let's make this clear. One of the things my brother had mentioned to me was about my Facebook. My Facebook looks like I'm insane and I'm having a hard time with life, and it looks like I'm a mental case because I use Facebook as a diary. It's an outlet. Um, but as I regain my sanity, and that may be the reason I was given a journal, but as I regain my sanity because I have now placed these patterns into their corresponding boxes, and each tape, not tape, each bit of information from the Epstein files that gets released, it actually puts me closer. And I think on the last video I was describing it as two roads that are split, that the more information I find out, I'm getting back to the main road. So I'm so close to the main road, and that's the reason why these people still have to show up outside of where I park, when I leave my apartment, when I enter my apartment, when I go to work, and when I leave work. Those are the only places I go. This is quite literally a prison without walls. I am being monitored. I don't know how many times I have to say it, from the minute I leave my apartment until the minute I return back to it. And the reason I know this is because of the desperate people around me, how desperate they look. Like, for example, tonight I arrived at my parking space approximately 7 p.m., a little bit later than usual because I had to drive around in circles, walk around in circles to try to avoid all of the people that are set up to monitor me. And let me tell you how crazy this sounds. It's not, though, because in order for them to continue to do things to push my buttons and try to drive me crazy, one of the most inadmissible things that one of the most inadmissible tools they have at their disposal is this shit smelling aerosol spray. I don't know if it is really the ketamine treatment or not, but every time I smell it, it very much puts me into an aggressive, angry mood because I can't understand where this dookie smell is coming. It smells like my neighbor's cat shit and they have not cleaned up the litter box for weeks, is what the smell smells like. But at the same time, the smell goes away within 5 minutes. So for like a year or so, every single time I would walk out of my apartment or every single time I would arrive home, I would smell it. And during that year, I was not paying attention to if my phone was on airplane mode, if I didn't know what a Faraday bag was. So for the entire year, I just thought these people smelt so awful. In like the first few months, I was like, give them a chance, whatever. Then I started verbally screaming in the hallway, like, it smells like shit. And then it, like, the smell was so irritating, it would change my mood every time I got home. I wouldn't be able to eat. I would yell from my apartment for an hour about these nasty people, right? It turned me into a person I would never want to be because it's so repetitively annoying. So that is just one of the tactics that these people use. It is similar to the synchronized entry and exit, but it is invisible to cameras. You don't see people. All you know about is a smell, and then the only thing you'll see on like a closed circuit camera is me reacting badly to what I smell in the hallway. So now that I have the use of Faraday bags and I turn my location services off and they're not getting the notification that I'm leaving my apartment or my devices are moving around. If you do your research on technology, you can see how easily this stuff is, how easily people can use your own technology to track you. So I no longer have to explain how this is something that can be very easily be done by any Section 8 resident, right? Any regular ass person. Especially when people have criminal records, no job skills, and still need to bridge the gap in their rental voucher and what the market rate of rent is. So when I see this lady sitting outside of my car at 7 p.m., first thing I can think of is she could be an employee from this place next to me that's on a break. So I waited. I waited 30 minutes, and she was still there like she was not going to move. So then at the 30-minute point, I decided to mess around with my signal because that's one of the things. There's people literally at my apartment watching like the lights, my lights. They're waiting for my lights to change color. They're waiting for the sound of my alarm to go off. They come by and walk by to see if my door camera is still recording. So my apartment is very heavily watched whether I am here or not. For example, today the guy across from me goes in and out of his apartment like 30 times in the afternoon, right? I don't know if they think I'm going to be distracted at work because they're trying to get me fired from my job. So distracting me at work by walking in front of my cameras constantly because they think I'm trying to protect something in here so bad. So they've made the contents of my apartment more important than they have ever been in my entire life. And they think that they can distract me at work by so I have like vibration sensors, I have motion sensors, I have presence sensors, I have all kinds of sensors set up in my apartment, and you can stomp on the floor really loud or slam a door and that will send notifications to my phone. And while I'm working, I don't know, they think that I'm still, I still fear something. I've already explained that I am perfectly fine with becoming homeless. So I'm at the point where I'm now canceling subscriptions that I've purchased to track them or monitor them or assist me with these things. I can now get rid of all of the things that I've accumulated to prove that I'm being stalked. I no longer have to put any more effort into finding out what is going on because everything in the Epstein files has told me everything I need to know about these people. It is the elite society. It is related to fraud, trafficking. It's related to all of those things. These people are career criminals. Some of them are white collar. Each person has a rank. Each person relies on this system so heavily that no matter how stupid they look in the pursuit of their stalk, they go balls to the wall. I don't want to say that this missing mother is related to them, but it is so odd that all I can think, it's very similar to Luigi Mangione, right? Like where it came out of left field. Luigi Mangione, I have a belief that he may be similar to me, intelligent person, but he comes from a wealthy family. I do not. Intelligent person that they hand selected to harass, isolate, and then turn into a weapon to take out the target of their desire. I don't know if the United Healthcare guy had any relations to Freemasonry, but when I think about everything I've gone through and all the stuff I've researched, I have only ever heard of people disappearing like that, or getting away with murder like that in the case of this particular group. Similar to what they say, a lot of the the people who make it to great wealth, they will usually have like an embarrassing fall, a humbling fall before they are able to be catapulted to fame. So like D4VID, he's going to get away with murder. I don't know. I have to check. Recently, he might have been arrested. I don't know. Let me go check back on that before. Don't quote me. But the whole thing is, however, his attorney, keyword attorney, is able to flip it, he has every possibility to get away with murder because they're going to charge him with like tampering with the body or something. Or I don't know, whatever it is, but it's not going to be a homicide or a murder. The look on his friend Neo's face leads me to believe he also is knowledgeable of whatever deal he can get, right? He just has to do a little bit of time, and he's been promised great wealth. That's just my opinion. People don't smile like that if they know they're going to jail for life. I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think that they do. And then, okay, so we're working backwards. The lady sits there for 30 minutes. And then I start messing with my signal. I start turning the alarm at my apartment on and off because I can do that remotely. And then the lady disappears. So I don't know if she figured maybe I had gotten out of the car. I know she knows I didn't get out of the car. But I don't know what exactly her reason for being there was. She could have been an employee on a break. She could have just been having a hard day at home. But I do know 7 p.m. is already dark. And any reasonable person with a home who's not going through some kind of trauma probably would want to be at home and not sitting outside in the dark as it's getting colder. So I was fully prepared to stay until 9 p.m. overnight if I had to. Which is what the point I'm trying to get across to the people stalking me is I have way more time than money. You probably don't have much money. So I'm going to waste the time that you could spend making actual money, right? Because I have more time than money. I can sit here all day. And you're trying to make money in a quick 15 minutes. I'm going to guarantee you it's not going to be 15 minutes, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to make sure you don't get paid. And if you're not doing it for money, then you're just wasting your day. Like, what I think for this girl who sat there waiting, if she is one of these suspected stalkers, supposedly they get paid in their 15-minute increments or whatever, right? So I waited there 30 minutes. How many job applications can you complete in 30 minutes? Maybe one, maybe two. Depends on how long it is. Depends on how many you want to do. If you have a resume, you can drop off a shit ton of resumes in 30 minutes. But instead, these people would rather make easy money in 15 minutes by just sitting around waiting for me to do something. It's going to take me an hour to do anything as soon as I see you guys. And I don't know if I've told you, I don't need a phone. I may have it with me, I may not. I have no problem turning my phone on airplane mode. I'm not expecting anything from anybody. If that helps you commit a crime in my name, I'll have to deal with that then. But I think that me personally, I'm not a good choice for you guys. I am working overtime to put your asses in jail. I understand how large your network is. That means I have to work extra hard to make sure every one of you gets picked up. I'm not going to crash out. If you haven't noticed, there is no crash out for ADHD. It's a burnout. And I'm not there yet. I actually have ways of reviving myself. Is like sleeping, ignoring your asses, eating well, addressing you, like actually calling you out when I notice you doing the bullshit that you do, which I did today. So another thing that's been happening that I think is quite odd, and I can talk about this is because this is truthful. When I've been late every day for like 2 weeks probably. It started after I didn't get paid for Martin Luther King Day, because I started thinking, like, do I really want to be at a place that paid every other employee except for me for a black holiday? I don't know how much I want to be at a place like that. But I do need a job, so every day I still have to show up. Every day I still have to put my best foot forward. I cannot intentionally try to mess things up. But my care for my perfection is becoming less and less. And I think the only person, it affects me. It definitely affects me because I am still in the process of looking for a job. But I don't want to be employed by anybody who's friends with these kind of people or these kind of people, or anybody who has it in them to commit crimes as heinous as these crimes. So if that means that it's the end of my career, I don't mind never working for a law firm again. But I have so much experience and I am a great employee. I think I still have like 20 more years left. And I want to say right now, I've never worked a temporary position in my life. I've never had to. I've always been able to get a full-time position. This is the most awkward time of my life because as a temporary employee, I don't get benefits. I do. So here's the thing. They're not the benefits I'm used to. So right now, my life is on hold until I get a real job. Everything that, if people are trying to force me to go one way or another, I can't do shit right now because I have a temporary job. The part that has saved my sanity was coming to grips with the fact that everything I've been through from the time I was at Louis Brisbois until now has every potential to make me jobless, homeless, and carless, like Maria Zakhamitsin was saying when I worked at Louis Brisbois. Like Moises and the rest of the New Matters group would say to me when I worked at Louis Brisbois. Because they have knowledge, it is my belief, there are people along the way of my career at just about every single firm that I've worked at. It's, in my eyes, it's 2 of 3. 2 of 3 people know about what they have planned for me. 2 of 3 people know about what has been set up for me. Today, I had 2 routers. Today, I just canceled my wireless router. One reason is because I believe the criminals in my building may have been using that to commit their credit card fraud. When I was at the Verizon store, whether it was V2K, it sounded like it was coming from either the employee or the customer that were across from me. They were talking about, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. It was a rainy day, and the lady who said it had on a trench coat, like a brownish colored trench coat. And I want to say she came in after me, and then she sat there talking with the employee within earshot, talking about how they are setting me up for credit card fraud. I now understand how that can be a possibility, which is why I'm trying to get out of the job that I'm currently in. So, in the event that any of the clients at the firm that I'm currently at have something committed against them, I'm telling you right now, it's not me. I served my time as a juvenile. I'm not doing that shit to anybody. I've experienced it. I would not want to do that ever again. So, adding back to this, the V2K, or the people who were telling me about the outside group setting me up for credit card fraud, it was when I was at the Beverly Connection corporate Verizon store purchasing. I think I may have been returning. I was returning the first router that I got that was compromised by someone in my building. When I had gone on a vacation and I had left a window open. It wasn't even a vacation. I was out of town for like one day, maybe more than 36 hours. And I came home, and that was the week my life. It was September of 2022, September 7th, that weekend. I went to a bike race in San Francisco. And that, I think when I was out of town, one of the neighbors in my building snuck in through my window, got whatever information off the bottom of my router that they needed, and my life has been hell ever since. But I cannot let people know how much of a hell. If you look at my Instagram or my Facebook, you're going to be like, that's fucking crazy shit. But please watch through all of this Epstein stuff. Please pay attention to a blogger, Alex, Statements by Alex, Awakening the Gifted, or something like that. It is through her that I have found connections to the Epstein stuff. Then I can relate it back to any private groups that he's involved with. Everything described in the Epstein files, it has been my life. They find girls who they believe nobody cares about them. I care about myself, which is why I'm still here. There are people who care about me out there, whether they're on earth or in heaven. I will not give up. And each day this continues. I have to at this point list names, because I've seen what happens to the other people who have been victims of this. So until I get a job, a regular ass fucking job like I used to have, I have to keep talking about this. Because the only thing in my life that's different than before I got fired from Louis Brisbois is this fucking temporary drag along, unsure employment. So my life is on hold right now. I cannot make any decisions because I don't have the security of a job. But with that being said, I've come to realize there's a lot of people out there who don't have enough to make ends meet, and they're okay. So I'm going to be fine. It's not anxiety, it's anger, because I can very clearly articulate exactly what's happening to me, but due to the number of people involved and the positions that they hold, nothing's happening. It's the same thing that's happened for every single Epstein victim. It doesn't matter if you want to talk about your story, nobody's going to do anything about it. The actions that they say that they're doing on the news are performative. They say something, they hold a news conference, they arrest one person, and then they get a pat on the back like they did a good job. If 2 out of 3 people are part of their society or their network, that means that one person is a victim. 1 in every 3 people is a victim, whether they know it or not. 2 out of 3 people are playing a stupid fucking game with everyone else's lives. It's not a conspiracy theory. MK Ultra is real. Secret societies are part of history. Have you seen YouTube? I'm not making any of this up. This is not okay. I think the Legos right here, one of the things, today I built a Lego car. Let me see if I can find it. I might have left it at work. I built a Lego car today because I want the people following me to realize What is the difference between me and a fucking 6-year-old? I bought a Lego set that on the package it said for 5 years old and up. And then I proceeded to enjoy the rest of my lunch walking and building a Lego set. On my walk, I'm encountering people who are very obviously desperately playing this stupid game of follow and report whatever the fuck I'm doing, right? And I can tell, and as I sense their nasty energy, I'll turn directions, I'll switch directions, and then they are forced to make a choice whether they want to look desperate and pedophile-like, pedo, I don't know, I can't say those words or whatever, or if they want to try to grasp whatever anonymity that they may still be able to grasp and keep walking. But I will tell you, the sickest people, people who should actually be arrested, are the ones that will follow me through every direction change. I can change directions 3 times. I can walk all the way to the right, fully intending on going left. But with that intention of going left, my end result, I will be still going back to the right. You'll see these people walk in zigzags with me. And that's how I know that I am being stalked. It's not just a, oh my gosh, that person standing next to me, I'm paranoid. It is quite literally, these people are told to hold their phones in a very obvious manner. Whether they're recording or not, I don't think half of them are recording. I want you to imagine this happening to you over and over again. You can say you don't care or that you won't notice, but part of the reason they make sure that you see them or they make it obvious is because they're trying to get on your last nerve. And I can understand why somebody would do that to me, because I've done everything out of spite. As soon as I've noticed these people attaching themselves to me and leeching onto me, I turned into the most spiteful person. Now, I no longer want to be spiteful because it makes me into them. It brings me to their level. It makes me an evil bitch. I'm on my period right now, and this is the bitchiest I'm going to get. And I don't have time to deal with anything because I want to bite your head off. But when my period's over, I'm going to remember this feeling and all the control that I have, because I know what will happen should I not get what I want during this time. It's not good. There's no way to draw it out of me. Right now, I'm in pain. I don't take pain medication. I told you I only smoke weed. I don't know if you've seen those things where they try the period cramp simulator on men. Watch some of those. I do it with no pain medication. It would be really nice to have a heat pack. Heat packs really do help. But sometimes it's not. Like this morning, I left in a hurry and I wasn't able to I have a little mini heat blanket. I wasn't able to get it. And then another part of it, being a woman, I've had my period now 30-something years, about 30 years. As I get older, it gets worse. It gets heavier. I have a fibroid. And today, like the first day of my period, is usually not that bad. Second day is almost always the worst. It's the heaviest. It's the most uncomfortable. And it's most likely the day that I'm going to take off of work, because I literally have to lay in a fetal position on a towel and not move, is how bad it is. But being a temporary employee, I don't get sick time. If I take a day off, it costs me money. So I have to go to work in pain and bleed through maxi pad. Right now I'm wearing a menstrual cup, maxi pad, underwear, and then corduroy pants. So I bled through today twice after changing my pad. And today was the light day. So tomorrow, I don't know if I'll even make it the whole day at work. But I have to, right? So if you have a job where you get sick time, where you're able to work from home, you better appreciate that shit. I know I sure did. And I'm not complaining right now. I see the people that are stalking me. Your life sucks. My life could be your life. I would be so unhappy if I sat around waiting for somebody to get out of their fucking car and they didn't. I'm trying to make you guys have crash outs now. I've already seen it with one of my neighbors a couple times. So 30 minutes is good for today. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you enjoy the rest of yours. Please, please, please treat each other with kindness. If you feel the need to follow someone around, you need a hobby. You need to go find a hobby. There's a couple things. If you like, being the autistic ADHD person that I am, I don't like small talk. Small talk is very painful to me. I don't want to share parts of my life with you. I share everything on Instagram. If you're so fucking nosy about me, go look at that, or come find my YouTube if you're that nosy. I don't want to talk to you about it because I'm not the same person in person as I am in person, if you know what I mean. In order to my whole, how do I say this? After learning that I'm autistic, I've realized that I've spent at least 30 years of my life masking to fit in. Masking because everybody sees me as a normal person, so I have to pretend to be that normal person. The reason you guys see me walking around having the fucking time of my life is because I no longer have to mask. And then you guys are trying to make it seem like being autistic is a problem. Like I'm crazy. I'm not. Do you understand what they keep thinking that pushing all these buttons is going to force me to have a crash out. A crash out is not autistic rage. Autistic rage lasts 1 second. I have autistic rage. If something does not go my way, and this is the most awful thing, but it's not necessarily my way, how I plan. That's why I stopped planning things, because I had to stop planning things because I cannot rage on every single fucking thing. So I no longer make plans, and my life became easier. I learned that after 35. Up until 35, I tried to make plans with people, and then they wouldn't go how I wanted or how they had said they would go. And then that's when the autistic rage would happen. And maybe that's why all these people from high school wanted me to call myself Mad Dog. They're trying to portray a narrative. Maybe they are autistic themselves, or they are neurotypical and they don't understand autism, or they just like to pick on somebody. Right? Some people just do that because it makes them feel better about their shitty lives. But I think that this MK Ultra like stalking harassment tactics that are being used to get me to split and make alters, I am of the intelligence level where I can now revert and I can remove those alters, and you guys are going to be the ones with the crash out. I am healing my traumas. I'm solving my hurt. This is psychotherapy, not that I asked for though. So it's going to be done my way. That's it. That's all I can say. You cannot force a person into therapy. There was a point in my life when I was ready to go, and at that point, they stopped me from going by messing with technology. I'm very technologically savvy as well. Oh, here's another example, because I can talk about this because it's factual. At work today, there are things that are done. I can't tell you if it's intentionally to waste my time, but I do have deadlines. And previously on this episode of A Day in Marty's Work Life, the pressures I felt were as if people were trying to speed me up, right? They will not speed me up. They're trying to overwhelm me or overload me. But I have the ability to get a lot of work done because I think outside of the box. And if I understand the whole picture of what's in front of me, I will handle it differently. But when things are given to me piecemeal, out of sequence, it almost seems like it's intended for me to take a long time. Like from the day I started each position, I have kept a daily task log. And in that daily task log is examples of how long it takes for me to complete each activity. One of my activities, the first thing I do in the morning, should only take me 15 minutes. Whether it's 2, whether it's 30. I have been able to complete it in about 15 minutes on average up until Martin Luther King Day, when I stopped giving a fuck because they didn't pay me for it. Um, so now I work at the pace which I think they deserve. I no longer feel the need to go above and beyond. I used to. I have always been that worker who, even in my fucking private life, as far as like, I want to impress my mom, so I'll go and learn all this shit, be like, Mom, look at. She's never impressed. And I've done that with every job I've had, with everything I've ever done. Nobody's ever impressed. People get tired of me being good at things. So they try to sabotage me and make it so I'm bad at them. And what happens is I just stop caring. I become bad at them, not intentionally. It is the lack of care. It is, I am going to work how other people would handle this position, and let's see if you want to keep doing this. So with that being said, there's an app that we use that, for whatever reason, kept asking me to update it. I've read through the material for it. The update is controlled by our admin. Our admin is able to force an automatic update. They are able to make a selection on whatever site that they have access to that will allow the group. It's a group policy, they call it, and it will force an update onto the software, right? Because I can't, it's a firm, so there's a bunch of other people. I can't be the only one having this problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, what settings did you change? I think that they think I'm very stupid, but he opened the page up for me, and he walked away while the page was still open. So I'm reading it, and it said, on the auto start page, auto start this particular app's uninstaller. Well, that's the fucking problem right there, genius IT guy. Yet it took an hour because I did things the way he suggested that I do them. It took over an hour for something that I could see in 2 seconds. He was at my computer for 2 seconds. I saw it and I said, I know that's it, but I'll go do what he wants me to do because they think I'm fucking stupid. So reinstalled the app, reinstalled. Oh, look, we have 2 apps installed. It's not working. Oh, we're going to uninstall it. And at the time he uninstalled one of the apps, that's when he turned on the automatic start page. How long have you been doing IT? I'm not IT. They should pay me to fix that shit. So I resolved my issue myself. When they pay an IT guy, God knows how much. I wonder if the overtime he's working is really just padding his pockets or what. But regardless, they pay an IT guy to tell people the wrong thing, or I'm targeted. I really am targeted. You know what I'm saying? So the fix to it was I put the app into the auto start menu and I turned off the uninstaller auto start. And boom, I restarted my computer. It fucking works now. How does that happen? How did you get a permanent position as IT and I'm here 5 months in this temporary position where they're taking advantage of me? So let's see how my job goes tomorrow. Let's see if the person still wants to follow me in and follow me out. Now that I've canceled Wi-Fi, let's see how the criminals in my building go, how that goes for them. They think that the cameras, I don't know, they can control the Ethernet. They can control a lot of things. They can control wireless cameras very easily, which is why wireless is the first thing to go. So if you yourself are watching this and you don't even have to give a shit about any of the things that I've been through, but just for your own personal security, if you think that setting up a Ring camera on your door is going to help you, it's not, especially if it's Wi-Fi. If you think having a bunch of cameras in your house is going to help you, it's not, especially if they're Wi-Fi. If you use Verizon's Fios service, that's still Wi-Fi. Um, Even though it's Ethernet, you know what I'm saying? So I understand the possibilities that my networks have to be controlled or attacked. I don't know if these people know how much I know. I don't know if these people realize that these cameras are for their safety. And I say that because these cameras remind me not to do anything stupid. So when I get to the point where I feel like I'm not going to do anything stupid and I take the cameras down, let's see how stupid these people get. Because one of the ways that they've been able to monitor me so well is through my own actual cameras. So if you are a targeted individual and you feel the need to put up more and more and more cameras, take a breath, stop, get over your care about material possessions, and let them all go fuck themselves. The people stalking you are drug addicts and lowlives who don't know that they could make just as much money legally, but they're lazy. And also New World Order. New World Order. They're evil people who think that they're doing a great job for the New World Army. All they're doing is making it a bigger shithole. But that's what they want. They like shitholes. So, that's it for tonight. I think I only went back as far. There's some more stuff that happened today that I don't feel the need to talk about because it's more of that like inadmissible. I don't have real proof. Um, but I'm fairly certain that something that happened right when I walked in the morning uh, has more to do with them trying to play games with my mind than it does with anything else. Another thing, I will not, if you are out there and you see me in public and I don't get into the, like, I'll press the button, but I'm not riding elevators with anybody. I don't want to make small conversation. I don't want to give you any fucking voice, whatever files it is. Um, I don't want to get to know you. I come to work to do a job. I don't go there to socialize. I don't go there to work on my own life. That's one of the things that I think I can say I'm different than some other employees. I don't use the internet at work. I can say I've used it at my current job to look up, what was it? Just recently I looked up something. Um, but I used to back in, what year was that? 2003 to like 2007 probably. If I ever had downtime at work, I would be on like eBay or shopping. I had a big shopping problem. Um, that's why I have no savings because I'm fucking materialistic. I was. Uh, I don't know what happened, but I realized people who go shopping all the time have emotional problems. Like I even now I'll still shop and I'll buy unnecessary, like all these fucking Legos that you see. That's an emotional problem. That's fucking emotions. That is my inability to deal with emotions. But I know that. Um so now I can stop buying Legos. Problem solved. Not really, because Lego fucks it up. Every month they come out with like some really cool shit. Like I want that shit. So part of it is a little bit of immaturity, a little bit of not living the childhood that I should have lived, and then having adult money, right? My mom would never buy this shit for me. The reason she's mad at me now is because I cannot save money and I'm not paying her as much as I should pay her because she thinks I'm buying Legos, but this is like, instead of spending 10 bucks on Starbucks and 15 bucks on food, right? It's the same amount of money being spent, but I think this is much better for my health, for my mental health at least. I do get a lot of joy from putting the little bricks together, even like fixing little things like this is a little crooked, so just straighten that out a little bit. Um, but this is OCD, ADHD dream, and for people who don't believe me, uh, about that, I I invite you to look at my life and then come back and tell me that you don't believe that. Hardest person to convince is my mom, because she will tell me to shut up as soon as I start talking about anything she doesn't understand. But I don't need to convince her anymore because I am absolutely positive myself. So, like I said 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago when I tried to get off, have a great night. Enjoy the minifigures. I will be changing the display soon because these are the older CMFs custom minifigures, and I do have some newer ones like the animal. I'm gonna put Spider-Verse in the little boxes so you can see all of my lovely little minifigures. The Ninjago ones from this year. We got this year here really quick. I'll show you before I get off because I have them right here. So just little ones. This is one of the guys from the new Animal series. There's 12 of them. Okay. I have them all. And then here is this is a train station platform that contains this year's 2026's minifigures. So these are Baby Ninjago on the left. I think that's Nia. I don't know that guy's name. And then the rest of them. And then we get into February's CMFs. That's the elephant that you just saw. Elephant, the jester, and the birthday girl. So this is February's. January and February so far, these are the minifigures that have come out in 2026. So if you're one of these people playing this stupid game and you really think I am a violent threat to somebody, I invite you to look at my Lego minifigure collection and then figure it out that you are harassing a big ass kid. How does that make you feel? Being a 30-something, 40, 50, 60-year-old something who is trying to intimidate and put fear into somebody with the mind of a fucking 10-year-old. Just because I can handle a lot of complex work and problems doesn't mean that I have to handle your bullshit.